I would like you to consider the following. Desk PCs, also known as a PC inside of a desk. I've got a couple issues with them and how they've been shown on the internet in the past years or so. Outside of course, DIY Perks, our Lord and Savior, the only one knowing what he's doing. But generally speaking, my first issue is price range. I don't know if you've noticed this, but a lot of them are quite ludicrously spec'd with just the absolute craziest of stuff in there. And like, I get it. It's cool to have cool tech, but also not in my like price range. I'm not that rich. Step two is just the complexity of the builds themselves. They're usually a little bit more complicated outside of the realm of the average layman who's just doing their best. And then along with that, why is the glass panel always in the center where you're gonna put your mouse pad? Seems like bad design, but it's been the same mistake over and over again. So I'm not entirely sure what the deal with that is. I feel like this should be something that's solved at this point, but it's not. Sometimes they get a little creative, put it off to the side, but that doesn't really fix it because that's still where your mouse goes if you're right-handed. And then also an issue with PC desks in general, not just desk PCs, but where are you putting any of your stuff? Where are you putting it? I don't get it. Where are you putting any of your stuff? Where are your drawers? You have no drawers. What are you doing? So with all that said, insert my desk, which I got off of Facebook Marketplace for $50. Pretty good deal considering that it's 6 feet wide and 3 feet deep. And I don't know if you've noticed, there's a lot of drawers on here. The drawers go almost full depth, which is 30 out of the 36 inches, which is kind of crazy. I can fit so many things in here, and I do. I've also been using 2 screens for as long as I've built a PC, which is in the summer of 2018. And since I've been able to have one, which I've gotten a couple for free from here and there, I've had a 3rd screen, which I know is a lot, but I like having space for stuff. Because of that, my PC has basically been hidden behind a monitor for as long as I can remember. Yes, it looks nice, but I really don't need it on my desk. And honestly, getting it off of my desk in a way that makes it harder for my cat to mess with would be great. Hence the box on top of my computer to prevent the cat from sitting on it. Do you guys like my notes? I wrote it out first. Anyway, the mission is simple. Can I take a PC that already exists, like mine, and retrofit it into my desk for cheap using accessible tools and also make it not look bad? For those of you that want to play along at home, I also have 2 DVD drives that have been kicking around for a while that I'm going to try to install as well. So I'm going to have some place to actually plug in stuff instead of having to plug in my portable DVD player that I've had for a while. So it'll make it a little bit more exciting than just kind of stuffing it into a case. I'll have to cut a couple more holes. Besides the DVD drives, I'm also going to be doing cable management and things to make it look nice. Obviously, we want it to look good. We don't want it to be just hodgepodge. One last thing that I'm going to be doing is taking my mic arm here and adding a spot for it to slot in nicely, just drill a nice hole so that I can stop blocking this drawer. Because it'd be nice to have that drawer back again. It's flat, but I like having these drawers available. I have a lot of things. I cannot stress enough how many things I have in these. Step 1. How in the world are we going to get airflow? The current plan is to take in air from where my legs dangle and bring it through and across the desk, as shown with the arrow. I plan to use central air vents, such as this, found on, usually central air, to cover up these holes to make it look, I think, the least suspicious and flow the easiest. The real tricky part is how in the world we're going to cut holes into the drawers while leaving them stable. While I had originally wanted to make this hilariously more complicated by fitting it into one of my shorter drawers like this one, it is barely too small to fit a vertical GPU, which adds to complications. But also, if I were to cut holes for fans like this one here, they do fit perfectly into the drawer. However, that leaves very little actual attachment point if I want to cut the hole in for the airflow. So that makes this kind of hard. And also, I want to do this cheaply. So I'm not going to be adding like crazy metal bracing or anything. I'm just going to switch tactics. Instead of worrying about silly things like drawer height, my desk has a drawer on the left side that combines 2 of the drawer faces to have a larger filing cabinet drawer height, probably for files. Luckily, I already have 2 filing cabinets, so I don't need to put files in there, and the 3 shoe boxes that were in there that were just full of random cords have found new homes. So now I've got this nice, huge canvas to work with. Step 2. Volunteer time to moderate a Discord for multiple years and then convince the server owner to give you the $176.65 needed by your Google Sheet. This is optional. You do have to come up with the money to do this somehow. That is a part of the process of designing something. And where you get that money from is different for every person. But my own personal financial situation, and I do have a mortgage on my own place, and I have a job, and I do things. But because of this, I keep kicking the can down the road a little bit because I can never really justify spending $176.65 on this, especially when I have a computer that already works and functions. However, having a financial constraint can also prove to be quite useful. My financial state isn't the greatest, hence the very sad emoji, but it does sometimes drive innovation, such as my first plan initially, way back in the day. I don't know if you noticed this. It says just needed $177, but this is actually horribly not correct. But it started out at around $700, and then it went down to $400, and then it went down to $200, and then it went down to just barely under $200, and then finally the final list ended up being $176.65, which I brought up in a server that I moderate for, and I have been in it for a while. And Skitty, the server owner, he's very cool and epic and has great opinions. And he sent me $176.65, which is very funny. Step 3, buy the parts. The first part we need is a test bench frame to get everything off of the wood and also make our lives a little bit easier rather than having to drill our own holes and put in our own inserts and have a whole bunch of fun there with measuring and stuff, because that's going to be a headache. I'd rather just make it easy for myself, and it's like $25. Next up is our front I/O and our power button. Next up is all of the parts needed to extend my back panel I/O to an actual reachable spot, because if it's inside the desk, I can't really reach the back I/O. So we're going to extend that plate essentially to the back of the PC using a whole bunch of USB extenders and a wall plate design with these little adapter doodads. They're rather neat. They got the 2 ends, so I can just hook it all up, and then it'll look kind of nice. Hopefully, that's the goal. Next, we've got a very long power cord and also some very long display port cables so that I can make sure that everything, that even when the desk is fully out and it has to travel 6 feet into itself, it can still reach the monitors and everything. Finally, we've got some cable management bits. We've got some Velcro straps that can stick in, and that'll help with cable management. We got some just normal cable management straps, and then we also have a hole saw that came with some cable management pass-through stuff to make our pass-through of things look a little bit less awful, because, let's be honest, we don't want it to look bad, and also this wasn't very expensive. Step 4. Tools needed. Fairly certain this is all of the tools I'm going to need. I've got my screwdriver and my whatever that's called, hand drill. I'm forgetting names all of a sudden. It's not a drill, because that's my yellow DeWalt is my drill. I don't know, screw gun, whatever. You guys know what it is. But I've got my parts here, the most complicated of which being my jigsaw, which I got off of Facebook Marketplace not even a week ago. To help me put in a floor that I was putting in, and it was $20. So not too shabby. And I got tape measure, things like that. I'm gonna have screws and things, but then I've got all this stuff. Oh, and for parts I forgot, but I have my grills that I also need. You already saw those, but just in case you forgot, you also need the grills. I'm fairly confident this is all I need. I'm fairly confident overall. I've thought about this long enough that surely this will just work, right? Step 5, benchmarks. So I'm actually going to open up on my computer a little bit of Steam here, and I'm going to go to 3D Mark. I'm going to hit play, and we're going to see if it freaking loads, because it likes to struggle for some reason. All right, so 3D Mark has loaded, and we're going to do a little bit of a time spy, and we're going to see what it says. Apparently, I'm please waiting. I'm just going to let this run. All right, we got a 12.349, which it says is good. Therefore, I trust that it is good. We can compare the results online, and we can see what that means. Let's see here. We got somewhere between a gaming laptop in 2023 and a gaming PC in 2023, which is about honestly where I put this thing, especially because I'm using an Intel Arc B580, which is like an okay graphics card, and my CPU is definitely the thing that's bogging it down at this point, which is my AMD Ryzen 5 3600, which was good when I built in 2018, but it has now been almost a decade. So there's that going on. Like overall, it makes sense to me, so I'm not too worried about it. But 12,349 is our score to beat when we redo this thing. So, step 6, tear down. Oh, I actually have to do this now, don't I? All right, well, wish me luck. Ooh, all right, tear down complete. No fancy title card here. Step 7. Build it. I got no script for this. I just have an idea of how it goes together, and we're going to see if it goes well. Let's start by taking my PC and putting it in the test bench frame. Alright, well, step 1 is take apart my PC, I guess. This is going to be a nightmare. Probably. Let's do it in the way that makes sense to me. My beautiful Arc Intel GPU out. How about now? Ooh. How fun is that? Over here. Right. That is this case fully taken down. Alright, surely this can't be too hard. Align the M column according to the motherboard. Alright, so I've got this thing here, and it goes like this apparently. My motherboard has one there and one there. So here. And then the two at the top are that same distance apart. Like this. You're like this. Rats. I did this to the only side that could fit the big one. I spent all that time messing about, fussing with screws. Gosh dang it. Now, before I get too crazy, I want to make sure that this you now let's do this. everything sound. Oops, big one. Okay. Let's dry fit this. Let's dry fit this. All right. So first things first, so that we don't forget. My DVD drives are going to be at the front, in the corner, right? And then also, we have to make sure that we think about our front I/O and power button, which I've already lost. There we are. My front I/O, my power button, which are going to be up here as well, in the front, taking up some space. And then, this, in theory, goes right about there. Fits like a glove. And so now, and then I'll have my cables, my display port and my power cable going this way. And then I'll have fans here, fans over here. So right now this cable's in the way of fans, so I have to think about that. Okay, so it's going approximately there though. Okay, I did some test fitting. I flipped around the way I had it. You'll see in a bit. Then I'm just doing a lot of like just thinking of, because like I knew how I wanted it to be, but like having it actually physically in there is very different than conceptualizing about it. But I've drawn some stuff up on where I want the things in the front to go. So I'm going to start there, and then I'll get to vents later. But for now, I'm going to start with my power, which is, where'd it go? I lost it. Oh, there it is. Which is this guy here. Fairly straightforward. I just need to drill a hole. But I do also have to drill from the backside, because to get it locked in, I'm going to need a bigger hole on the back that doesn't go all the way through, that allows me to actually, screw on the back to it. So we're going to see how that goes, because I have screws, or I have drill bits, but I don't know if I have them that big. So I'll be honest. I kind of forgot I was making a video. I started this at like 1 when I started making this video. It is currently 6 o'clock. I mean, I did the hard part, which is drilling all the holes. So now we get to like put it together, But holy shit, that was way harder than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I thought it was going to be easier. Also, lesson from the wise: cheap hole saws, not the greatest. I got through 1 hole, and then the second hole I went to go cut, it snapped the bit. So to be careful with how much you want to trust things that are cheap. I got around it by only using the 1 hole, which is inside. I used that hole, and then I actually have there's like a channel at the top of the back that I can use to route my display ports through. So like that was gonna be like the big thing that I was gonna do the one on the top for. But apparently it was not meant to be. So I would not recommend buying that one. I'm not going to include it in the list. I'll find a different one, a nicer one. Also, invest in the right size bits. I spent an inordinate amount of time drilling this 1 hole for the power button, because my bits don't go high enough. So I drilled it, and I sanded it, and I drilled it, and I sanded it, and I just kind of kept messing with it until it finally fit. Also, no, that's it. I'm going to clean this up, and then we'll reconvene and put this together. Actually, I mean, we'll clean up together, too. Why not? Let me put my mic over here. And I'm going to put away all my fucking tools. now that everything's at least not dusty, I'm gonna go eat dinner, and then we're gonna build this thing. Okay, so I just ate dinner, and I want to tell you what I did. The main things that I did are the front holes, so for my 2 DVD drives, my power button, and my front I/O. And then also you can kind of see on the inside here, I've got some hole here. There's one on the other side as well. And if I pull it open, you can also see that I've got fan holes here, and I've also got them on this side as well. Something that I don't think you can see is way over here. I've got a hole for my kind of my back panel essentially, and that's right there. So everything is good. I forgot to drill my hole for my mic, but I'm just not gonna do it. I'll be honest. I'm getting tired. Ooh, okay, I'm climbing on the desk. All right, let's start with an easy one. That drops into place. Easy. Make sure it looks nice. Boom. All right, that's in. It's not going anywhere. All right, let's install some fans, because I think that's going to be the next hardest part. Okay, wait, so yes, you're outgoing, so you will be like that. Okay, that one's in. I messed up the other hole for that, so it's gonna have to do. That felt good. All right, those are on. Let's get our front I/O in, which is surely somewhere. Oh, found it. Ugh. All right, so we've got first our front I/O plugs, which should perfectly fit. And I'm aware that it pops out, but I'm very okay with that. It kind of makes it better, IMO. And we've got our power button, perfect fit. That's not going anywhere. And then we've got, and I know I messed that up, but oh well. And then we've got this and this, which kind of need to go in together. And should neatly and snug. There we go. They're in. Alright, so 2 DVD drives, that. Alright, let's get those out of the way. Let's get these out of the way. Let's drop a PC in here and start cable managing. What a mess. Right, let's start by plugging these in to keep things out of the way. And I'll be honest, I need that. Ooh, yep, those are stickers. They stick. Fun fact. There we go. Okay, that's out of the way. Okay. I need my, Larry's moment, drawer moment. See my manual real quick to figure out where I'm plugging in all of my stuff here. All right. Oh, there it is. All right. system fan 3. Right there. So, okay. Cables. Alright, I've got like 400 of these. Oh, these have twisties on them. Oh, dude. Oh well, I'll save them. Twisty. Twisty. For you, have to go this way. Whole bunch. And then out. Now, oops, I didn't actually mean. Got no space down here. It's like I'm underneath a desk. Alright, that's all the way pulled, which means I've got that much play, which is good. Okay. Let me like 90% sure that's 1, 2, 3 still. At the beginning of this, I'm pretty sure I said this was going to be beautiful, and it's debatable. For sure. Okay, so let's go to the funny one. There we go, front panel. They all go? Did I miss it? I did. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I'm just putting my whole head in the way. Yo, I actually think I got that. Oh, that was pretty good. Alright, and then let's do one last. Oh, no. Sticker too strong. Let's do one more of these, just to get you truly up and out of the way. Alright, vaguely organized. Fuck, I forgot about the power cable. This one's gonna be the worst. Okay. Okay. In theory, everything is plugged in. I actually don't know if the power supply's on or off. What happens if I click a button? Nothing. It lit up. Is my monitor on? Is another. Ooh, No, it's not. Is it posting? Holy crap! I did it. Oh, that's beyond terrifying that this worked. That's almost a worst outcome here, that I didn't mess anything up. Yeah. And then like mouse. Yep. Oh, I have no idea what that is. What it is. Oh. Yeah, I got, oh, my Ethernet. Oh, my Ethernet. It sure is a good thing I keep 25 feet of Cat 5e networking cable in a drawer. This is why you hold on to things, even if they're not useful at the moment. This is huge. Alright. Ethernet's now plugged in. Now, let's clean up and set up the other monitors. Oh, frick, wait, before I do that, let me put in the grills. Grills are first. Let me do the one down here first. Just like that. Alright, that one's on. Boom, good. I'll put on the other one really quick, and then I'll set up the monitors. Alright, so it's working fairly well. I'm gonna close it inside. And I'm kinda... Uh-oh. Is it caught up on? Is it caught up on the cables? Something doesn't want to let you back in. Hey, so Simon from the future here, and as it turns out, when I was doing on that night, when I did my other benchmark and stuff, my camera died, and so it's been a couple of days, and by that I mean it's been like 3 days. I finally got around to editing most of the video, so we're gonna do our benchmark here, and then I'll talk about some of the things that I learned and some of the things that I didn't think of, or other things that I got to include. So first things first, though, let's do our benchmark here. All right. So I'm no expert, but I think we went down like 40 points, which means nothing to me. So let's go back to our compare results online. Let's see if it's any different than it was. We are still between Gaming Laptop 2023 and Gaming PC 2023. So negligible difference. When I ran it last night, it was in the 12, or not last night, but a couple nights ago, it was in the 12400s, very low in the 12400s. So I'm assuming that basically it's around the same if it just keeps measuring the same. But is what it is. I'm not too worried about it. Some of the things that aren't in the video that should be mentioned is I cleaned the fans, so that is a marginal improvement. I might get new fans just because they were really quite dirty and I don't really have a great way of cleaning them. Another one is I've lived with it for a couple of days. There were a couple of driver issues. I had to re-download my entire GPU drivers to get it to work. The main screen kept flickering. And at first I thought it was because one of my cables is really, really bent. But it wasn't that cable that was the problem. So I re-downloaded all of my GPU drivers. I just did a full clean install and it fixed it. Everything's been working. My DVD drives work. I tested them out. They work great. I ripped one of my physical discs because that's what I wanted them for. I want to start ripping my physical media and putting it on my NAS, and they work, which is awesome. And I have two of them, so I don't know what that means. Ooh, how exciting! And I don't know, it's been working. I had a couple of times where it's crashed, but I think that's more of it's not a heat issue. I've tested that. I've been keeping monitoring the heat. It's not a heat issue. It's just, I think, more driver stuff because I kind of unplugged everything, replugged everything, and it's kind of still figuring itself out. Every day it kind of gets better. So it's been pretty good though. I haven't left it on overnight though. I'm a little bit too afraid to do that just yet. But overall, I've really enjoyed it. I sent pictures of it to my friends and to my mom and to the Evan Mimosa, that's not his name, Evan Mansma Discord, and they all liked it, including Evan. So pretty cool stuff. I'm excited to post this and be done with it. And I'm going to take this clip here. I'm going to finish editing my video. And then I'm going to watch the latest episode of You and I Are Polar Opposites because I'm like almost like a week behind at this point. So with all that said, thank you for watching my silly video. I hope it wasn't that bad. Yeah, anyway, thanks.